What's going on, New Canoe Nation? Woo! Welcome back. Welcome back, folks. I know we're on a different night, a little different time. Your boy has got to make his way to Florida for this KBF 10 Invitational Trail Series, Pro Tour, whatever the heck is going on in Florida this coming weekend. So running a little early this week, but we threw a show together trying to get you guys your entertainment for the week. Little new canoe action. We got Mr. Matt Gibson in the house tonight, and if you guys only catch part of the show, remember you could always go rewatch on Facebook, YouTube, catch it on any major podcast platform. Drop in the comments where you're tuning in from, what kind of boat you're floating out of. Smash that share button down in the lower left-hand corner. Let's get some folks in here. If you got any questions throughout tonight's episode, feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll get them answered. Let's get them in here. Mr. Gibson, welcome to the show.
What's up, Brian?
How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. How are you?
Welcome back. I think this is your second go on this, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Once in a while you gotta, pull your regional director on and, make him feel good about himself. So that way you can uphold your team status, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to work.
Touche. Well, we'll see what we can do. If you guys didn't hear the original episode that we had Matt on, where we got a little background on him, he's from Indiana. He's the Great Lakes team manager, director, as you would like to call it. And we're just going to shoot the breeze tonight, talk about a handful of random topics. But first, man, let's catch up with you. What have you been up to? What's new with you as far as New Canoe goes?
Man, it's I tell you, it's been busy. People think, up here in the north when it gets cold that things slow down, but man, it has been an extremely busy winter with New Canoe stuff, and a lot of the accessories that are coming out that we're really excited about. And it's been crazy busy around here. Unfortunately, we've been locked up as far as ice for the last few weeks anyway, so I haven't had time to get out and do any fishing. But as far as New Canoe stuff, been been really busy. Shoring up things for the 2022 season, and getting out there and supporting some clubs as we can with kind of the budget that we have. So it's been busy finalizing those things.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Let's touch on that a little bit. Maybe some folks don't know, but New Canoe actually supports some of the local fishing clubs and stuff like that. So what are some of the things that you guys do for those clubs?
It kind of all depends on how they're kind of set up. A lot of times we'll partner with a dealer. That way the dealer gets involved as well. We some regional stuff we get involved with too. When you guys had the Paddle and Fin trail stuff, we try to support that and also support the grassroots guys. So
nice. No, that's cool, man. It's much appreciated. I know there was a handful of regions that kind of pulled together to help support that event that we did down at Dale Hollow, and we actually gave away a New Canoe Flint, which was really cool because the guy was super stoked that won it, and he ended up giving it to his dad. So now he's spending time on the water with his dad, fishing side by side, which is super cool, man.
Yeah. Actually, Matt Lensman, his group up there gave away a kayak and kind of surprised the guy, and kind of upgraded his kayak, got him into a Flint, and it was pretty awesome. So I love stories like that. Love anytime that we can help the kayak community where we can, we try. So
yeah, for sure, man. And I mean, it was same thing with the Marina, which is a New Canoe dealer that we worked with for that event down there, Eastport Marina in Middle Tennessee on Dale Hollow Lake. They put up 2 kayaks as well for that event, and it was kind of funny because the guy that won first was supposed to get a Frontier 12, and the guy that took second was supposed to get a Frontier 10, and they actually switched boats because Adam Reiser won first, and he wanted that F10 for smaller water, and the other guy wanted the F12, so it worked out. It was kind of cool,
Oh,
man.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Which is
that's
awesome.
great.
So again, like getting those dealers involved, which is super awesome, and we're having that event this again this year, weekend of April 2nd and 3rd down there on Dale Hollow Lake at Eastport Marina. So
Well, hopefully I can make it down. I know it's more of a of a hang than a real hardcore tournament fishing deal. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's a good time, man. Good time. I know
that's
the boys
awesome.
from Georgia are planning on coming back up. A bunch of our new canoe folks down there, so should be a good time, man. But yeah, definitely looking forward to getting this 2022 season rolling. I know yesterday I was out on hard water ice fishing, so
Yeah,
I'm like itching to get back in the kayak, and I'll be doing that Wednesday because I'm leaving tomorrow for Florida, and I'm hoping to get down there like Wednesday around noon or so and get on the water. And you brought up a lot of the new accessories, and I know you kind of played around with the transducer retract kit
hmm
for a little bit before that got released. I just got mine. Rigged up on the boat. If you guys are looking for one, it's available on the website now. Um, what kind of things, as far as like when you got yours when it was in prototype format, like was there anything you found that needed to be adjusted or changed that you saw in the final product, or everything just kind of ran smooth?
man, James, he's that dude he's just incredible at New Canoe. And honestly, what I did is I sent him my transducer with some spare parts, just a box. Just sent it to James. I got it back. I don't know. I think it was 3 days later, 4 days later.
Sure.
And he'd build a custom mount for it. We're kind of in that phase of it. He test fitted it to a kayak there. I got it back here, put it on the kayak, and gosh, I don't know, probably like 2 weeks later, headed up to Wisconsin and fished that event
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
saw you up there at. So it was pretty dialed in then. Honestly, I made very, very minor adjustments to the proto,
Yeah.
and I just got the production and switched everything over,
Sure.
and it is exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, see, it's I know we had Blake on beginning of the year to kind of kick the year off, and that was one thing he talked about when we talked about the transducer retract kit is they found that, obviously every you know fish finder company has got a different style transducer. So when
Yeah,
you actually go in and order yours, it's going to give you a drop down menu for like Lowrance, Hummingbird, um, Garmin, Ray Marine, because those transducers are all kind of different. So now you have that option, and say down the road you end up, switching fish finder companies, you could still go back and order whatever parts you need to adjust that so it works on your transducer retract kit. But I'm so glad I'm getting rid of the old switchblade, like
yeah,
that thing was always a pain in the butt because like the screw for the arm that when you flip it over, it always comes loose. Now your
yeah,
transducer arm's like at an angle like this instead of being straight up
yeah.
and down, so I'm stoked for that. And
Ma- Yeah, and honestly, man, I run a Lowrance 3-in-1 when I run a depth phone. I really don't run it that often, but
sure.
when I do run it, I run the 3-in-1, and that thing's like a boot, man.
Yeah.
Like it's huge. Like it's crazy how big it is. And honestly, so I run an XI3 on my unlimited,
Yeah.
um, and I don't know how far in that tournament was I running. Probably
Oh yeah, because the ramp you had to go from was probably a good like I'd say like 2 miles.
yeah. So
You
so
know,
I was still able to run top speed with that thing all the way down, and I had no issues at all. Um,
Let me ask you this:
But,
Did you, with
yeah,
the transducer being in the center like that, did you get feedback from the motor a little bit, like as far as like on side scan and stuff?
just I noticed it mostly on 2D, um,
Okay,
and there is just a really, really, really light line that goes across.
okay.
Um, so yeah, I think a little bit, um, but it's as far as side scan, nothing. It retracts or it goes down far enough and gets away from the hull far enough that seems to be okay. And down imaging's fine too. Seems to be so.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, because I just got the Newport motor, which is going to be put to work this week, and I'm interested to see if I get any feedback on my transducer from that. Because my old Minn Kota motor, I would get a little bit,
Yeah,
kind of from that like prop wash almost. So
yeah. And you're
I'm
running a
interested
Garmin,
to
right?
see. Yeah, I got a Garmin 93 EcoMap 93 SV or something, or 94 SV. I forget what it is exactly. It's a couple
Yeah.
years old. I should probably upgrade it, but you know, for what? It works.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I tell
unless I'm
you
going to
what, I
get
ran
live
a
scope.
yeah, I know. I ran a the old HDI 5.
Yeah.
Um, gosh, Lowrance for gosh 4 or 5 years, 6 years. I just didn't want to get rid of it because I was like, oh, I know exactly what that is. Like, and I only used the 2D,
Sure.
but I was like, man, I know exactly what that is. So
It's one of those things, right? Like I remember when I got that Garmin, I got it on sale because the new ones are coming out. Like that's
right,
that's a huge thing, guys. If you're looking for new electronics, now's the time to really buy them because they're usually last year's stockpile is going on sale because all the new ones are coming out, and especially around Christmas time. But um, when I first got that and got it on the water, I'm like, man, this is a whole different world. Like I need to relearn all this stuff because I think I had
yeah,
like a cheap like 4-inch Lowrance that I pulled off my little fishing boat, and it had like down imaging in regular 2D, and that was it.
yeah,
And some
yeah,
maps and some
right,
maps. So
right.
going to side scan and that full down imaging and all that stuff, man, it was a little bit of a learning curve for sure.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I still don't know what the hell I'm looking at sometimes, but man, it's fun.
It's like playing a video game in my kayak.
That's right. That's right. If it's shallow enough, I might even get out of the water and just feel around and see what it really is.
I mean, it's not a bad idea, right? I mean, because then you
No,
can kind of know what you're looking at.
that's right. That's
Uh,
right.
I've done that before, kind of drug the bottom to see what I kind of feel. Is that a tree? Is that a rock? And then you kind of put two and two together, for future reference, which, you know, can be
Yeah,
beneficial. You know,
absolutely.
knowing your electronics is a huge, huge thing for sure. But man, I know you got show season coming up. I know you're doing the Indiana Boat Show. I'm going to be down there for a weekend as well. What's the dates on that? Who you working with there, and all that good
Yeah.
stuff, man.
Yeah. So it is time for the Indianapolis Boat Sport and Travel Show. It's the 60 something annual. I think 65th or 67th, something like that. So gosh, about 2 or 3 years ago, the folks at Moving Water Outfitters here in Zionsville, Indiana, um, basically chunked out a big chunk of what's called Tackle Town there at the show, and it's now called the Heartland Kayak Fishing Summit, hosted by Moving Water Outfitters. Um, so there's a demo pool there. New canoe. So manufacturers have their own booths there. So New Canoe will have our own booth. Like Malone will be there. Like Bonafide, those guys. All the manufacturers that they cover or that they have at Moving Water Outfitters, they'll be there. But the dates for that, it's a little bit different. Most time it's a 10-day continuous show. But this year it's a little bit different. So it starts February 18th to the 20th. So that's a Friday through a Sunday, and then the 23rd to the 27th. Get Monday and Tuesday off, and then start back up and crank back up for the weekend. I haven't officially seen it this year yet, but typically there's a motorcycle expo on one of the weekends, and the other weekend is the
Deer and
uh,
Turkey Expo, ain't it?
deer, turkey, and waterfowl expo. Yep.
Okay.
So I mean, what was it? 2 years ago, Brian? That was kind of your first trip over.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, it was the winter of 2020 because it was right before COVID hit. Because I'm pretty sure I had something when I was there.
Oh, I know.
I had this,
Yeah.
I had this like goofy cough, and
Yeah.
like I didn't really feel sick, but I'm like looking back now, I'm like, man, did I have it? Because my wife was really sick at the same time. And she like, I've never seen her that sick ever, and,
Yeah.
it was right around that time, and then boom, right after, um, you know, I think it was the Madison show that I worked, which is usually that, like, last weekend of February, first weekend of March. Obviously, everything got shut down, and I
Yep.
was slated to work Canoecopia, and that show got canceled, which is a big paddle
Yep.
sports. It's one of the largest paddle sports show in the country, and that's usually in Madison every year. And I just got an email today. I guess that is on
Nice.
for this year. It's usually middle of March, but yeah, it's that show. I was, because I'm used to the Chicago Fishing Show. Like, I've gone to the Chicago Fishing Show since I was a kid.
Right.
Used to be down at Donald E. Stevens Convention Center, which is really huge. And then they moved a little bit outside of the city because they didn't want to pay all the ridiculous parking and
Right.
union stuff for unloading show crates and stuff. So they found a new venue for it. And that show's pretty big. I forget how many thousands of square feet that is. But then I went to the Indiana show, and I was like, I was there for 2 weekends, and I don't think I saw everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's RVs, there's big boats, there's pleasure boats, there's bass boats, I mean, there's
All the fishing lodges. They had
yeah.
an antique motor show, which was pretty cool,
Yeah.
like all the
Yep.
old antique outboards were there. It's pretty cool, man. If you guys are in the Midwest and you wanna go spend a good solid weekend at a great outdoor show, like, I highly recommend going to the Indiana Boats Travel and Sports Show.
That's right. It's
And
a yeah, it's a good time. It's I mean, you're gonna spend all day there. It's a day show. Like if you come to walk around, even if you go pretty quick, it's gonna be a full day. And they're always serving cold beer too. So
Yingling on tap, right?
yeah, whatever. Yuengling, Budweiser. I mean, they've got it.
Well,
They've got it.
what's cool is Moving Water Outfitters, they put the demo pool in there, and, so folks can try out boats, and, I know they always do extremely well at that show. They're just nonstop carrying boats out the door, but, it's cool. I know first time I was down there, I was obviously with a different manufacturer at the time, and you guys in the New Canoe booth had a few different setups. You had the outboard setup, the pivot drive. I don't think you guys had an XI3 on one yet. That was
Yeah, I
kind
don't
of
think
right
so.
around that evolution of the bow mount.
Yep.
But it was pretty cool, man. You guys had all kinds of accessories set up and showing them off to customers, which was pretty rad.
Yep, same way this year, man. We we might have one little trick in the bag.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
so might be kind of debuting something.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, yeah. So kind of see how that is. But yeah, we're gonna have some rigged out kayaks. We're gonna have with the Flint being a solid collar this year. Uh, we're gonna have a few of those to look at as well. And yeah, I mean, you can come to the show, and this is one of those shows you can buy at. Uh, I mean, if you want to buy a kayak, we will gladly sell you one and carry it to your truck. So
Heck yeah, man. Well, what's nice, it's obviously a demo pool isn't a real world situation, but you can at least kind of get a feel for stability and the way these things paddle a little bit in that demo pool,
yeah,
which is kind of nice. I mean, obviously
yep,
with the state of the world, let's say, um, kayaks have been hard to come by. So if you're in the market, fishing show time is the time to get out there and really look. And I know usually they do a demo pool at Cincinnati, which I think that show was just this past weekend.
Yep.
But I know all across the country, usually there's demo pools at a lot of these shows where you can try out boats, and take one home, which is cool.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Like Brian said, if you're in the Midwest, then drivable distance. We'd love to see you there. Come on down, and if nothing else, we'll tell fishing lies together.
Yeah. That's pretty typical of Matt, fishing lies.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of
that's right.
fishing stories.
I do, and man, that pastry lady. I hope she's there.
Oh yeah,
Man,
yeah.
that's fire. There's an awesome popcorn vendor there. He's got this spicy popcorn, and it's dynamite.
Well, they had some really big names speaking over at the Bass Tank too in 2020. Do you by chance have that lineup?
Not yet, but yeah, there were some big names like Larry Nixon was there, Jimmy
I know.
Houston,
Yeah, I was going to say Jimmy Houston was there.
Ish Monroe was there. But, typically they have a pretty stout lineup, and then I don't think this is a secret, not that I know of, anyways. I think Chad Hoover will be there. I'm not sure if it's one weekend, both weekends, or what's going on, but I believe Chad will be there. And yeah,
And he usually does a couple seminars as well.
Yeah. Yep, he does. He does. And what's interesting, man, is sometimes during show season you can only stand for so long or sit for so long. So sometimes you start getting up and walking around a little bit. And so you'll hear the same guys giving the same seminar because it's a 10-day show.
Sure.
Or it used to be a 10-day show. And so, you would go out there and kind of walk around and you'd see attendance for this guy or that guy. And I'll say that the bass boat guys really attended Chad's seminar, and Chad's seminars were highly attended.
Yeah.
And had good feedback from him too. So
he's an all right guy.
Yeah.
No, he was I was standing in the booth next to him, and he was flipping a frog out and across the aisle next to the demo pool, and people would walk by. He'd just have the line laying on the floor and then start reeling in the frog as people were walking by and seeing ladies jump 3 feet in the air. He got it on one of his YouTube videos. It was pretty funny.
He got the pastry lady one morning. I was like, "Oh man, that's
not good.
She's off limits, man. Like anybody but her." Like,
don't mess with my pastry lady.
That's right.
No, it's cool, man. I'm looking forward to coming down there, and then I'll be there the first weekend. Second weekend, I'll be up at the Madison Fishing Show. End of February, which is always a good show if you're in the Wisconsin, Minnesota area. And I'm sure a lot of folks from Illinois are going to flock up that way because the Illinois show or the Chicago show got canceled this year, or both shows that were supposed to be in the Chicagoland area. So,
oh man, that's a bummer.
Yeah. We won't get into that.
Leave that one there.
I'm biting my tongue. But yeah, it'll be interesting, man. I'm looking forward to getting back to show season, talking to folks, getting them in boats, whether it's a new canoe, an old town, a bona fide, whatever it may be, just helping folks make good decisions and getting in boats and getting on the water this year. So
yeah, I tell you what, if somebody comes up that's listening to this podcast or watching us live, the first 5 people that come up and say something to either Brian or myself, we'll get them a little something.
Oh, just come up to me. I'll make sure it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel free, man. It'd be good to see some folks up there and just sit around and talk some new stuff. So for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
For sure. Well, I know you also help run Indiana Kayak Anglers there in Indiana. Did you guys release your schedule yet?
We did. this is by far the earliest that I recall us releasing a schedule. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I know there's some, there's some questions about, why did we start when we do? Because we're starting in late April this year. But we have had one heck of a winter here. So, a lot of, our first two events are kind of up in the northern part of the state.
Okay.
And they've got a solid 10 to 12 inches of ice right now. So,
Sure.
and that doesn't go away in a weekend. So,
No. No, I think I had a solid 10 out on my home waters this past weekend.
Yeah. Yep. So, we're starting April 23rd and just getting with it.
Nice.
So,
where are you guys kicking off the season out of?
Lake Wawasee. It's up in Syracuse.
Right. Yep.
And then we're going to go to the James Chain. It's a natural set of natural lakes up there. It's a really awesome place. There's a state park up there. Then we're going to Hardy Reservoir, which is definitely something new for us. And then one of my favorites, the Tippecanoe River.
That's always on there.
Yeah. And then the White River. So.
Okay. Right on. Both great smallmouth fisheries for sure.
Yeah. Yep. And if there's anybody out there that kind of looking for events in that July and August timeframe, or really anytime, we're a completely open club. We don't have any membership fees or anything. So come on over and fish with us.
Nice. I like it, man. Well,
what are you fishing this year? You're kind of all over,
right? We'll see. I mean, I'm fishing KBF. I'm definitely fishing, obviously, this coming weekend down in Florida, and then the next one I'm going to do is Gunnersville, and then I kind of had that one Erie and God, why can't I think of it? Big smallmouth lake, Michigan. Come on, help me out.
St. Clair?
Yes, St. Clair. I can't believe I forgot that. So I'm definitely fishing those three. And then I'm going to fish a few boat tournaments up in Wisconsin, actual boat tournaments. And then there's a couple of All-American Kayak Series events I'm going to try to hit, like lacrosse, Wisconsin. Ooh. And what is the other one? I got it written down at home. I might
come over and hit you right up.
Yeah, you should, man. Lacrosse is just a phenomenal fishery, because you missed that one last year, right?
Yeah. Yep. Sure did. Yeah. And, I know it's one of your favorite spots, and it's kind of one of those bucket list places. If you're anywhere near it, that's one you want to.
Just the scenery alone is just beautiful, and some of the boat tournaments I'm looking at fishing are all up that way. So, nice. Really looking forward to that because I've only been on it in a kayak, so now I can kind of venture out more in the boat and get a little more dialed in and run and gun. Awesome. And that'll be all before the kayak event. So, and that All-American Kayak event is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a 3-day event.
Oh, wow.
So it should be pretty wild. And I think they cut the field each day. So it should make for a pretty interesting tournament. And I mean, heck, even if you get cut day one, spend the rest of the weekend fishing, because you never know what you're going to catch up there.
You're not going to be in anybody's way because there's so much water up there.
So much water. Those events always cover 3 pools. It's usually pool 7, 8, and 9, which you're talking to drive from one end to the other. Like to drive from the southern end all the way to the northern end, it'd take you an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. Yeah. Like it's a miles of water and back sloughs and all that kind of stuff. And in the summer, obviously, Ish Monroe won that one tournament up there on a frog bite. And, frogs are always a go-to in the middle of summer. So,
Yeah.
Should be interesting, man. Should be interesting. But yeah, I'll be getting around a little bit this year, traveling a little bit. So if you guys see me at an event, hit me up, and love to talk to you guys and just shoot the breeze.
Heard you might be going to Lake Champlain.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if somebody fully
Uh,
commits,
uh,
we'll make those plans.
yeah, it kind of works for me.
Yeah, well, kinda isn't a yes.
I know. I know.
So, Lake Champlain tournament might be on the docket there. One of the Douglas Opens up that way, which would be a gas. So,
Yeah,
New
for
York
sure.
is one of those states I've never really fished, other than one time as a kid driving through there, fishing a little shore fishing, but
And I
something that's
fished.
always been on the docket.
Gosh, that had to be.
Oh boy, you're gonna age yourself. Take it
I
easy.
know. That had to be at least 15 years ago. I fished well, it was the FLW Ever Start series.
Oh
That's
wow.
how long it was. Up in it was out of Buffalo.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, and man, as a co-angler, I didn't know what the hell I was doing on water like that. And I tell you what, man, I could barely walk for like 3 days after that.
You got an education, huh?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, as soon as we came around the break wall, like my eyes had to be beside the trash can lids, man. I was just like, "Oh my god, we're going out in that in this bass boat." And it
Oh
just
yeah.
doo doo doo. Like I still wake up with cold sweats to that sound ringing in my head.
Yeah, I've been in a few walleye tournaments that are like that, and even
Oh,
in a 21-foot Ranger deep V, it's like running, 45 miles an hour through 3-4 foot waves. That's yeah.
well, it feels
Well,
like you're going 95.
oh, dude, yeah. But no, it's good stuff, man. Well, we're wrapping up, man. Any final thoughts, things you want to throw out there?
Yeah, it just if you're out and about here in the Midwest, stop by and see us at the Heartland Kayak Fishing Summit, hosted by Moving Water Outfitters. And yeah, if you're up in Brian's way, make sure you hit up that Madison show. Um, I think that's always a fun show for you guys from kind of what you've said. So
Yeah, yeah. Madison's always good. I know Jeremiah. Um, what am I forgetting? Like today is not my day for remembering things. He runs Explorer Lacrosse. He's usually
oh,
there. I know.
Burrish,
Yeah, Jeremiah Burish is usually there. Um, there's a couple other kayak manufacturers that are there showing boats, tons of tackle, everything from panfish to muskies and anything in between. And they always got a ton of seminars going on. They usually have a really great lineup as well. And it's a boat show as well. So uh, always a good show. I know one year Fluke Master was up there, Gene Jensen. So it was good to kind of chat with him, and
Mhm.
he had his kayak up there all rigged out and things like that. So yeah, looking forward to that, man. It's always a good show. I'm kind of bummed out that the two other shows I normally do in the Chicagoland area kind of got canceled, but to be expected. But still got Indiana and Madison, which is good, and I'm looking forward to those, man.
Yeah, yeah. I know we're trying to wrap up here, but man, when I go to the boat shows and you kind of sparked it talking about tackle there. Don't ever sleep on the guy's booth that has the dust on the stuff.
Yeah.
You can find some hidden gems in there, man, for good prices. Like that's the stuff I live for. I
Yeah.
love that stuff, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know that Indiana show, man. I know I bought a few things down there, and there was some hidden gems. There was
there are
definitely
for
some
sure.
hidden gems.
Yeah, if you've seen me on the Paddle and Fin podcast talking to those guys, talk about secret lures a lot and the stupid tube. Well, the king of stupid tubes will be there, Terry McWilliams, then also I believe Danny from Secret Lures is going to be there. PH Custom Lures. Those guys, make handmade balsa baits. Just fantastic craftsmanship on them. So if you do make it the show, make sure you stop at those booths and say hi and take a look at some of the stuff. And if you're anywhere in the area, stop on by. And like I said, we might have some debuting. So
Nice.
We'll see how that goes.
I like it. Glad I'm going to be there to see it. So, all right, man. I thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate you jumping on with me. Boys and girls, thank you for tuning in tonight. If you jumped into the show late, you could always go back, rewatch on Facebook, YouTube, catch it on any major podcast platform on your ride to work, while you're in the garage tinkering with the kayak or doing that honey to-do list. We will be back next week, normal scheduled time, Tuesday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock out on the West Coast. Till next time, boys and girls.
Tight
lines. Smooth paddle.